What's going on, everybody? I'm here to do a review for Creed 2. Now, let me tell you something before I even get into the review. I had multiple opportunities to see this movie way before it came out. I had an opportunity to see it at the beginning of the month, maybe about 2 weeks ago and some change, but every time I had a chance and opportunity to see it, something always came up, like work, for instance, and I couldn't have the opportunity to see it. But that's perfectly fine with me. I was finally able to see it today, and I had been waiting for this movie ever since they announced that it was going to be a Creed 2. I knew after the first one it was going to be a second one because of how it ended. I said, but I wonder where they're going to go with the storyline. And when I found out that they were going to go with the next generation of Creed versus Drago storyline, I said, oh, this movie is going to be very, very good. So basically, this movie takes place not immediately after the first movie, but maybe a couple years down the line. I think they're doing it more so in real time. The first one came out in 2015, and this one comes out in 2018. So it's basically 3 years down the line. Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, he only lost one fight, and that was the fight that he lost at the end of the first Creed movie, and he's pretty much been winning fights ever since. And since then, he actually became the world boxing champion. He's still with Bianca, who is played by Tessa Thompson. They're still together, still in a relationship, and they're basically, going through, everything together like they still were in this movie. I really, really love the fact of the dynamic that they showed with the Black Love storyline in this movie. They could have went anywhere with it, and what I also saw what they did with it is they kind of paralleled it like with how Rocky and his wife Adrian was in the original Rocky films, how she was always there for him, always by his side, always by the ringside, despite all the stuff that they was going through, because, with him being a boxer. And now there's a new, I guess you can say, a new threat on the horizon, and that's Victor Drago, who of course is the son to Ivan Drago. And if you remember the infamous Ivan Drago fight against Apollo Creed, in which Apollo Creed ended up dying in the ring when he fought him 30 years prior. And basically now they've met up. Now this is the fight that everybody wants to see. It's a historical fight. It's 30 years later because, he died in 1988 and it's now 2018. And I really, really loved this movie. If no one believed that Michael B. Jordan could be a good actor, tell them to watch this movie. This guy is a very good emotional actor. Every emotional scene that he did in this film literally will send chills through your body. Like, he's a very, very, very good dramatic actor. We saw that a little bit in Black Panther when he played Killmonger, but we really see it come through in this film as well. Tessa Thompson as well is a very good emotional actress, and I like that they played up the dramatic aspect of the film and didn't just so much focus on, oh, it's a boxing movie. It's much more than that. It is a boxing movie, but it has a lot of elements to it, and I like that they were able to cover their bases with that. Of course, you had Sylvester Stallone come back as Rocky. They're not going to do this movie without him unless he ends up passing away or something like that. Then they'll find a way to fill that in. But all in all, it was a very good movie. A lot of people were kind of worried that the movie was going to be good because Ryan Coogler did not direct this movie. However, he was the executive producer of the film, which means he still has some attachments to it. It's just that he wasn't always there. So he was still attached to the project. It's just that he wasn't as hands-on. But I do send kudos to the director of this particular film because he picked up where Ryan left off, and I truly believe that the movie was phenomenal. It was really good. And usually when it comes to sequels, a lot of people worry because sequels may not be as good as the original or the first one, but I really did enjoy this one. I really did enjoy this one a lot. I truly believe that if you go and see it, you're going to enjoy it as well, because I really loved what they're doing now. A lot of people were skeptical, even with the first one. It was like, oh, here we go, another Rocky film. But trust me, you watch it, it's far from another Rocky film. This movie stands by itself, even though it's a spin-off of those films. But it was a really, it was a really fun film. Like I said, it had its dramatic moments. It had its comedic moments. Of course, it had its emotional moments. Like, it pulled everywhere from every way possible to cover in this one film. And I like how the pacing went. The storyline was very, very well delivered. Also, shout out to Felicia Rashad, who I think in this movie, she got more screen time than she did in the first one. I don't know who maybe talked to somebody to give her more screen time, but I'm not upset. She did get more screen time, because in the first one, she did not get that much screen time, and she really didn't have that much interaction with a lot of the other characters. A lot of the times that she was on screen, she was either with only Michael B. Jordan or by herself. But in this one, she was able to interact with all the other characters of the film, with all the other main characters of the film. I can probably tell the budget on this movie was a little bit bigger too, because they didn't just shoot just in the States. They went overseas to Russia. They shot in the desert. I mean, they weren't pretty much everywhere with this film, and they probably did give them a bigger budget because the first one was so successful, and that's usually what they do with films that are sequels. But if I had to rate this film, I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10. I really, really, really enjoyed this film. I'm almost certain it's going to be #1 in the box office, for the simple fact that it came out maybe a whole week in advance. Sorry about that. I had to pause the video right quick. It was slightly interrupted. But all in all, like I said, I would give the film a 9 out of 10. It was very good. I would heavily suggest that you go and see it. Like I said, it's going to make a lot of money because it came out early in the week, and it had a whole week to pretty much make as much money as it possibly could through the Thanksgiving, I guess you can say, week or weekend. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.